Hail to all. How you doing? How's everyone doing out there? Got Steven and Wes with me today. How you guys doing?
Doing well,
Doing great.
brother.
How you doing out there in Shellpocalypse land out there? Yeah. Bunch of craziness going on. Bunch of people wearing masks all everywhere.
Is that Parrot Head saying hashtag beware the Drew?
Yes.
Hail, brother.
Hail.
Hail, Parrot
Hail
Head.
to the Drew. Greetings.
Dude, CJH.
So yeah,
hail.
I took a journey to the grocery store. I did not go to Walmart because, you know, they have those Soviet style food lines you have to wait to get in. And let me tell you, every grocery store other than Walmart is not doing that. Safeway's not doing it. Fred Meyer not doing it. And, you know, I'm really glad they're not doing that because, you know what? You should not impede people's path. Hey, hail to the Sentinel.
Hail the Sentinel. Yeah, my county's rebelled against the bi-county area I live in. They rebelled against, made national news, actually. Rebelled against the governor, yeah. And so the governor sent in the alcohol and beverage control people and they said, we're going to start pulling licenses, and you're never going to get them, you know, if you guys open up. So, you know, the fight's developing.
They are gonna they're opening a Pandora's box of lawsuits.
Yep.
Literally a Pandora's box of lawsuits. Literally, because everything that they're doing, you know, it's not constitutional. You have to have the law in the state house, and they have to be written, and they have to be voted by the people in the state. You know what I'm saying? And that's not right. It's one thing to ask people to shelter in place voluntarily. Other thing, just being a jackboot thug. You know, I watched a video of this woman at a park with her kid getting arrested.
Yeah.
Good thing there was family there because it helped get her kids home. But she was literally arrested.
Yep, and that's the other thing the governor is trying to do. He's trying to say, well, you're not going to get any of the aid from the state if you open up early. And the people here in the county in the bi-county area are like, we're open, we don't need it.
Right.
And it's not even it's not even like, you know, we're just throwing the whole thing out of the window. Our health officers, like, you know, social distancing, wear a mask if you cannot socially distance. I mean, that's it. It's not even a full open.
Basically, because of ADA laws, if any corporation or entity tries to make you wear a mask, they cannot. It's a $75,000 fine up to a $150,000 fine. And they encourage people to call that number. There's an 800 number. And it's the ADA law. They can't make you wear a mask if you don't want to. Asthmatics can't wear masks. They have to be able to breathe. There's a lot of people that have breathing issues. That people with really bad allergies can't wear a mask. And if the city tries to make someone wear a mask, it's a violation of the ADA law. And there's a number you can call and file a complaint.
It's all going to be gummed up with red tape and bullshit. And one of the reasons I think they deferred, I think it was actually smart for the federal gov to defer to state governors when it came to regulations and the enforcement of these things. First off, states' rights, and also let them have the responsibility and show their ability to govern their own people. You know, I mean, local commerce understands, or the local governments understand their commerce, and so. You know, here in Delaware, it's not that bad. It's not really that bad. Hospitals are not overflowing. I haven't really heard of any big shortage of masks or breathers, respirators, or anything like that. You do have to wear masks when you go into local stores, but, you know, as soon as I walk out of a store, dude, I take that shit right off. Nobody gives me any problems.
Yep.
You know, the one thing that I have been seeing, people in their car by themselves, wearing a mask, driving down the road.
Yeah.
Well, you always have hypochondriacs. There's always going to be those people.
Every other car, I'm seeing this. This gives me concern.
I've been seeing it.
You know, I don't have a college education. I went back to college for a little bit, but I do understand certain things. And understanding what your individual rights are is just understanding the base. I understand the basics, you know, and it seems very thuggish.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, it turns out if you explain to free people the situation, they understand it and act accordingly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like it just blows my mind. It really does. And so you see, when I was a kid and a teenager growing up, we had the threat of nuclear annihilation because of the Soviet Union, and we lived under that. And that was always the conversation: is it going to happen today? That's what it was. And this is back in the late 80s into the early 1990s. And then in, 91, the Soviet Union fell. And nobody thought that would ever happen. And it completely changed everything. The whole world just completely changed. And basically, it's just now, this is by far the craziest thing that I have seen in my life, next to September 11th, you know.
Oh yeah, well, it's just like September 11th. The world's never going to be the same after this. But what we have to understand from looking back at 9/11 and the Patriot Act and all of the abuses of power that were taken advantage of at that time is that we do not have a repeat in this instance. That power that has been used to protect the people during a supposed emergency pandemic does not reach out into other areas. And that's one of the things about, I know, trust me, guys, I've voted Democrat my whole life. I'm not trying to pick up the Democrats, but the Democrats really have tried to push a lot of nonsense into the last emergency bill. And that is exactly, and from the Republicans too, this is we have to watch our own government. We, the people, have to make sure that our government, those who serve us, are not putting shady things into these emergency bills that are restricting or taking away our rights and liberties.
I like to look at it as a strictly just a constitutional level on the channel, and I come from a neutral point, and I look at it like, doesn't matter what party they are, if they're a governor, if they're basically abusing their power and doing stuff like that. It doesn't matter who they are. Just vote them out of office.
Yep. Yeah, man. I mean, California is where I'm at, is a really big state, and the counties, you know, all the counties are different. You have some very densely populated ones, and some that are spread out, some that tend to be have more of an individualistic population, like where I'm at, and some that are very collectivist, which, you know, that would be where Newsom came out of. And you just, man, you just got to trust free people. You give them the memo about social distancing. You be careful of the sensitive populations, and just let everybody decide what their risk factor is going to be and the risk they're willing to assume.
Right.
Hey, have you seen Larry the Cable Guy slams Orwellian mandates trampling on freedoms Americans died for?
No, I have not.
Yeah, it was the Washington Times, and you know, they put another article out, and it has not been fact checked on Facebook. I put it all over the place on Facebook, and they won't fact check it. Okay, now I'm going to show this article, but I am not going to read the title. Let's see here.
I was finally able to get a haircut too. That's nice.
All right, don't read whatever you do, just don't read the title.
Although before I got the haircut, I did promise.
See that? Did you see that? I couldn't believe it. I had to make sure that it wasn't one of those tabloid papers when I first seen it. And it's not. It's the Washington Times. You understand it's next to the Washington Post and New York Times. It's liberal, just like them.
I think the Washington Times is conservative.
I always thought it was.
was.
I always thought it was a liberal news piece. Actually,
I'm unfamiliar. I couldn't say.
I've always considered the Washington Times right up there with the Washington Post and New York Times, but I was really surprised to see that. But yeah,
it's a legit paper for sure.
Yeah, and I had to do a double take. I couldn't freaking believe it, and so I shared it a few different. Hey, what's up, Tyler Mungo? How you doing?
Hail Tyler Mongo.
Is that me, Parrot Head? Did you call me a weirdo? Did you call me a weirdo? You said duck it. Parrot Head said duck and cover. Dude, I remember the emergency nuclear drills when I was in elementary school.
First grade, second grade, and third grade. I think we stopped doing it after that.
Mm-hmm.
And remember the, I don't know if you're tornado drills.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, but it wasn't not so much of a problem. I grew up in Pennsylvania, eastern Pennsylvania. So we get one every couple of years. I always thought those tornado
drills were one of those placebo things. I'm from northern Indiana. You ever seen the size of tornadoes that go through Indiana?
No.
We're talking like Category 4, Category 5 tornadoes. Half a mile wide in some cases. Huge. I watched a tornado. You know the old domed grocery stores that had the big beams that held up the ceiling?
Yeah.
All wood? Well, you lay one of those beams down on the ground and they're about 6 feet tall and about almost 2 feet wide. And there's several of them that go through the ceiling. Well, when a tornado came through, it ripped out 6 of those.
Damn.
Yes.
Wow.
That's serious pieces of wood. So what do you think it's going to do to a school building when it goes over it? You better be in a cellar, man, when it comes to tornadoes in Indiana. The ones that are root cellars, that are dug in deep. Because that's the only way you're going to survive one of them tornadoes that hits a building.
Do you guys watch Orville Nation?
Yes.
At all? Do you know meteorologist Katie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Katie is a tornado chaser. That little girl.
I got a lot of respect for that.
Katie's adorable. If I was 20 years younger, boy. Let's see. Yeah, Katie's great. I would never do that. That's insane. She's got more balls than I do. I'll tell you what.
Oh yeah. Hey man.
Pretty crazy. It changes direction and you're kind of screwed.
Right.
I have a healthy respect for tornadoes because I had a dream one time. Me and my dad were sitting in the car in the front of these apartments, and up Samuelson Road, a huge tornado went by us. And we both look at each other, and then I just woke up. And to me, that was the sign, don't mess with tornadoes. I got a real healthy respect for tornado alarms when they go off.
Tyler says tornadoes are dangerous, but when they see Ghost Bear, they run.
Well, this is true. This is true.
Hail Tyler. Oh man, Tyler hasn't been around too often. I don't know what's been going on. He sent me a message on one of my videos and said, "I'm sorry I haven't been around, or I haven't been able to catch your guys' videos live." I was like, "Dude, don't apologize. We're in the middle of some really insane stuff going on."
Insane stuff, man.
Yeah,
and I've been kind of going through the similar stuff, and I took a break. I took a little break from social media.
That's always healthy.
Sometimes you gotta.
Yeah, bro.
And because I came across some really real stuff, and it was just too real, and then I had to take a break from the realness of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah. So basically, crazy stuff going on, Because I drive. I'm kind of glad I live where I live because it's beautiful out. And believe it or not, the governor hasn't really said you can't go for a walk or something like that. That's the one really positive thing. If you want to go for a walk, you're able to go for a walk. And so, or a drive. And so I've been for a few different drives here and there when I go out, and I've did some van videos.
Yep. Yeah, they're cracking down on beaches here. It's so stupid. Like, come on, people are 6 feet apart. I mean, let people go to the beaches, okay?
Yeah. So yeah, and so I've been seeing, and Facebook's been cracking down on a lot of this and a lot of that, and if you talk about certain things and stuff like that, and I've seen live streams just get yanked off, because they mention certain things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
funny.
if you have a different opinion, oh yeah.
I did one that had a bunch of those banned words, and actually I was kind of surprised. That stream did pretty damn well. In fact, people are still watching that one. But the ones after that, I really got nuked in the algorithm. People were not getting notifications, and the one, it's like YouTube's like, yeah, we'll let you have this one, but the ones after that, we're going to make you suffer.
Parrothead, my vehicle is what you refer to as a res pony.
A res pony?
Yeah. I got friends on the res, and I spend some time on the res.
Dig it. Well, what exactly is a res pony?
Res pony. It's what you get around in. It's your vehicle, your car.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, res ponies are real good, man. You got a good res pony, man. You can get all over the place.
Dig it.
I got a Grand Caravan that's halfway decent, and I got one of those, those suction cup things that hold your phone, and I finally got one of those, and I've been able to make some really cool car videos.
Those never work for me. They never stick.
Oh yeah, apparently I got the right one, and you think that the thing of it is, it's hard as hell to get them off when the heat hits it and it gets really hot. Got to put a little bit of saliva or a little bit of water on the suction cup, and then press that button in, and then it'll probably stay. It's the cooling effect. When it cools off, they tend to fall off.
Oh.
But apparently, I got just the right little trick, and it's just to the left of my steering wheel where there's just enough room right there. Makes perfect videos.
Yeah, I gotta get something rigged. I try and stick it in my sun visor and wedge it so it doesn't move too much.
I used those Dollar Tree cell phone holders you plug into your vent. I got one of those, and I had to modify it for my phone to fit, and the first one I did basically was in my vent. It kind of worked, but the other one works a lot better. I can get a wide angle.
Yeah, I was trying to have it look down. Otherwise, when it's looking up, you can see my double chin.
Yeah, I got a good picture of a 64 blue with white with blue racing stripes over the top. Beautiful Mustang. Either 64 or 65.
Very nice. Yeah, my brother used to have one of those. And I had a 69 fastback.
Because if I got my phone in camera mode, I can get those scenic pictures of the mountains. And I had my headset in. You just press the middle button on the headset, and it takes a picture. You don't got to touch the device. It's kind of cool.
Gorilla Glue. Well, there's an idea, Parrothead.
Yeah, buddy. Oh my God. Yeah, Duckman, whatever his name is, he's on the defensive now.
Oh.
He's saying that he and Sony are not responsible for the company that they hired, who has been copyright striking videos.
Yeah.
And now, oh my God! And now, I just watched a video from Hambley on the quartering. Go check out Jeremy Hambley, the quartering, support our boy. He was saying GameStop put out it's not. They say it's Naughty Dog saying it is an editorial. It really isn't. But you could classify it as an editorial. It's more of just a description of the game for people that have pre-ordered The Last of Us 2. And it's one of the descriptions in there talks about a function that this game has where you hunt down and kill dogs, and then their owners, each dog is assigned to an NPC owner, and the owner will begin crying when you kill the dog.
Oh, wow.
Now, mind you, I am. This is the peripheral of the context. All right, I'm sure that there's a little more into it. I know that I've killed plenty of hellhounds in various games, so you know it is what it is. But they're a lot of animal activists are getting very upset that this is just like one of the extra functions in the game. It's just
Willie's going to join us.
Oh, cool. So Naughty Dog is claiming victim from GameStop. Meanwhile, GameStop has been reporting that pre-ordered games are being canceled for The Last of Us 2. Do you know that the highest pre-order for The Last of Us 2 is $220 for a game?
Wow.
For
Jeez.
a game.
Wow.
Right.
I thought $60 was expensive.
You could buy a console for $220. You can pay a bill for $220. You can pay a car payment. You can get 2 old consoles for $220. But yeah, they're giving like certain perks like guides and like equipment and extras for the game and so forth.
What's up, Willie?
What's up, Willie?
Hey.
Hi, how you doing, Bear? How you doing, Bear? How you doing, Wes? And how you doing,
good.
Mr. Walton? Or
Doing
Steven?
well, sir.
Sorry.
Doing well.
Good. Thank
Yeah,
you for
why don't
having me on.
Hey, no problem, man. Why don't you tell everybody what you're doing, Steven?
I am putting together, as I have been all day. Oh God, let me reach and find one. Putting together. There it is. The Phantom Menace Volume 1. So I'm shipping them out here soon. I know I've been promising that to people for a minute, but there was a few legal things I had to go through to make sure my book was okay. I wasn't sure if it was under threat from someone who was previously working on the project, but I talked to the right people and put out enough money to talk to the right people to know that I am completely safe. Nobody's going to steal my work. So now that all that is secured, I have printed some bookmarks that were donated to us. One by Simone Poitier of Comicsgate. He's a famous penciler in Comicsgate. He gave us this bookmark. Thank you, Sim. And one of my favorites, Vinny Tartamella, let's see if I can get it right. The Boner King himself. Made one for us. So free bookmarks are coming with every book. As soon as I get all of my backers fulfilled, I'm going to start the Indiegogo for Volume 2. Volume 1 will be up again. Volume 2 is pretty much just being polished right now. And I'm still waiting on that chapter from Jesse Milestone. So as soon as I get that, I can put everything together and get the PDF ready. So this time when the Indiegogo stops, I will be ready to begin printing. I won't have to go deal with any legal bullshit. I won't have to deal with, having to reformat the book and protect myself and do what I had to do. So I apologize to everybody, any of my backers out there who might be watching this that had to wait 6 months. I'm really sorry. I wanted to have these books out and in your hands by like February, but haters going to hate. And when people actively try and sabotage your work and try and steal it and claim it as their own, you got to do what you have to do to protect yourself. And so now that is passed, I am protected. Don't have to worry about any of that shit. So when the next book comes out, I'm going to have that PDF ready to go to the printer and get those things shipped out immediately. Thank you to everybody for your patience and support. Hail.
Hail.
All right. Hail.
Yeah, I can't wait to get mine.
Yeah, brother.
I know, dude. I've been because like I've ever since I heard about your book on Midnight's Edge After Dark. I was like, oh, dude, I can't wait to get this. And I was like, oh, dude, and I meant to my girlfriend like, oh, I can't wait for you to read this too, because I try explaining like what the Fandom Menace is, and I just am horrible at explaining it. So I'm like, I cannot wait to like read it and be able to articulate a better like definition for what that is. And
what's funny, Willie, is that one of the things that we stand up for is the right to have an opinion and protecting the IP or the vision of original creators like Lucas Roddenberry, people that create different franchises and then they are appropriated by people who want to use them to platform some kind of agenda. And if you don't let them do that, then you are harassed and you're shamed and you are, hunted down and you are, they attempt to cancel you or, and deplatform you. And then, I brought somebody in to help me with this, and he tried to do the exact same fucking thing. So, this book I'm working on my own.
That's one of those things where it's like I've heard that story repeated so many times, and it's like one of those things where it's like you always have to prepare. You either have to shore up as much as you can all your stuff legally, and kind of be and kind of be untrusting of the fact of this is my friend, but just not necessarily trust the fact that they'll be per se honest, or even you'll be per se honest. Because I always tell people too, it's like I always do this, so it's like, hey, we're both cool, so I don't screw you, you don't screw me, and it's like we're just equally cool. But it kind of sucks that that it has to come to that in the first place.
Well, there's snakes everywhere, brother. Doesn't matter what.
Yeah, I know.
But the thing about disingenuous people, I did a video about this a little while back. The thing about disingenuous people is that sometimes they will succeed. Sometimes I know of one or two very disingenuous people right now that are succeeding, doing very well, and I'm not going to call them out. I'm not going to be the one, but what happens?
I hope that's not me.
No, not you, brother. No. Nobody here.
Okay, here we go. Okay.
But you see, when you see people like that succeeding, it can be very hard for you because you know what's underneath. The thing about disingenuous people is that they usually leave a trail of destruction in their wake. They usually leave damaged relations with people because they've used them or they've abused or leveraged their influence over them, or you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's what you just got to sit back and wait for, really. It's the same thing, I would hope it's the same thing in entertainment and politics and other spheres of influence where you have people that have no problem stepping on the heads of others to elevate themselves, smiling at everybody. Hi, I'm this wonderful person. Oh, look at me. I'm a great person. Meanwhile, in the background, they're threatening, stepping on people, abusing people and things like that,
Right.
And you would hope people like that leave a trail of destruction in their wake. So you hope that at some point, enough people have had enough that when someone speaks out to everybody else, it's like, yeah, that's pretty much common knowledge. We knew that was a shit person or a shit politician.
Well, yeah, you're right, because in my experience, in researching stuff and basically is that with a successful person, it's like, okay, you can get away with doing, you can get away with being a horrible person to some people to a point. But as soon as you don't bring any money, or as soon as it's like there's just too much baggage, then they're gonna get less tolerant of that, and then they'll basically ask you to leave. There's been several people in Hollywood where it's like it's like, all right, you get that, they understand that. You have those, for example, those directors. Some directors are horrible taskmasters, and it's like they end up, it's like, artists and stuff who work with them, they'll either never work with them again and they'll burn bridges that way, or they'll basically not, I don't know what the right word is. They'll basically burn every bridge until they can't work with anyone.
Well, I mean, it's like what happened to Harvey Weinstein, right? He was abusing people for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And finally, one person spoke out, and then a whole trail of other people were like, "Yeah, that's a shit person."
Yeah, and the thing is too, with like as you were saying with Weinstein was kind of on his career was kind of on the decline. So I mean, but it's like,
well, a lot of time that happens to people who are in their power decline. Oh no, you're fine. A lot of people,
I'll go to
one of the biggest heartbreaks for me was Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby's from Philly. I'm a Philadelphian.
Yeah.
I always looked up to Bill Cosby. He's a very influential person that the city was proud of. And then you find out, when he was on his decline, when he had lost his power, then you find out about some of the things that he had done.
Yeah, I know. My dad was the same. My dad was from Philly too, and now it's like the same thing with like Phil Cosby. He was like, is that?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I know.
It's a
broke.
positive message too.
Oh yeah.
Well, I loved what he said. What he would say to the community is get education. Stop blaming other people for your, for your problems. He was stop, doing that and assume responsibility for yourself. Like Bill Cosby did put forth a lot of positive messages, but unfortunately, when you are a deviant who drugs people in order to engage in intercourse, then all that entire message is lost. Everything is
Right.
gone now. All that positive messaging is done. It's tainted.
Right.
Really is. I don't know how anybody can be, aroused by that. Kind of seems almost like mock necrophilia or something. I mean,
It's
very strange.
well.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's like statistically speaking, most crimes, especially like sex crimes, like rape, are more crimes of opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Crimes of
And
passion.
so for him, it's kind of like, oh, hey, I got the opportunity to, have sex with this person, so I'm gonna, drug them so I don't have to work for it.
Well, when you're that wealthy and famous, do you really have to work for it?
Yeah, you still got to. I mean,
like, did he have a micro dick? Like, was it genuinely hard? Did women look at it and go, "No, thank you"?
Well, the thing is that some people can be completely off-putting it. That it doesn't matter if they're rich; they're just really.
Hail, Mortal Coil.
Hail, buddies. What's up?
Hello, Mortal Coil. Hello, Mortal Coil.
Oh, nothing, Cole. You showed up at the right time. We were just talking about small penis. How are you?
Well, personally
Micro
unable to
penis.
relate to that concept. Well, hail my Bear and author Stephen Walton, fourth wave affiliate.
What's
Wes
up,
and
brother?
Willie, I don't believe I've met you guys before. How you doing tonight?
Don't think
I'm
we've been on
fine,
the
thank
stream.
you. How are
Doing
you?
Good.
I met you in the chat, but that's
Hmm.
about the Twitter chat thing for fourth wave.
Willie, did you just say the Twitter?
Twitter chat.
Did
Yes,
you
I
say
did,
the-
like an
that
old
is a
man.
boomer. That is boomer. That's
Yes.
The Twitter
Even though I'm
machine.
not a boomer, I still say it like a boomer. Well, I mean, what I was trying to say was the Twitter chat, like the fourth wave, the Twitter chat thing, and it just kind of, I just sounded
Oh,
like
you're
a good
good.
man.
Probably
You're good, Willie.
No,
Fuck
man, the community chat. I got you.
The community
Yeah.
chat. There you go.
it.
Fucking Wes, Mr. Newsworthy man. Look at that.
I know, Mr. Professional.
Dude,
This
you look
looks
like
professional.
Ryan
Looks cooler than
Reynolds.
I
With,
got.
Ryan Reynolds with some fucking beard hair and some like scholar glasses. You're fucking nailing that to the wall, dude.
It's Ryan Reynolds
thanks,
10
man.
years later with glasses.
Wes
and
gets paid more than
Yeah.
Hey,
anybody
we're
in the fourth
We're the
wave
same
industry.
age, me and Ryan Reynolds.
oh, really? Oh, shit. I'm
Yeah.
so
You
sorry.
know, and a matter of fact, I've never seen
Oh,
Wes
man.
and Ryan Reynolds together in the same room. So
Holy
That's
shit!
true. They could be. It could be
Take
like
my glasses off. I really need
Look
them
at
to
that.
see, though. I really do need
Okay.
them to see.
okay,
That's a minus 9 3/4 and a minus 9 in the other eye.
So are those for would mean you're nearsighted, right?
Very
No,
nearsighted.
farsighted.
No, very nearsighted. Yeah.
Nearsighted.
Yeah, me too.
Because
brother. Hate it.
I can't see far, so that makes me what, nearsighted?
Yeah.
well, shit. And it looks like
what-
Stephen Walton. You're putting together some volume 1.
I am
Yeah.
putting together some volume ones.
Okay, when you get to mine,
Uh-huh.
I know you're gonna customize it, right?
Well, I'm gonna doodle a penis in there. We were talking about that earlier with Wes.
I'm getting
Shit.
a matching vagina.
How many of those do you have to mail out? Not vaginas, but I
Oh,
mean, how many?
203? 203.
Dang.
Okay.
I know, I should have ran it for 2 months. Well, I know, but it's what it was.
Well,
Hey,
shit.
Steven, I have a question, if you don't mind me asking.
Sorry,
So,
bro.
how much time did it end up taking? Did you end up having to invest in running your Indiegogo campaign?
How much time did I invest? I mean, it was
like
30 days long.
Okay, well, I mean, like during those 30 days, was it like you had to be on that like all the time? Like it was basically like a full-time job for you during those full 30 days, or
it's just like anything else when you're doing your own advertising. The more you put into it, the more time and energy you put into it. Depends, the response you're going to get. And that's why when I see people like, that are my friends, I try and do it with independent creators more that I know, like George Gastus, Vinny Tardamella, Carla Tortonelli, Simone Poitier, Red Gaze, Anna when I can, and EVS when I can. But that they've got enough of a support base that they've got enough attention. Not enough attention. You can always use a little bit more, but so you just keep going on live streams and you just keep talking about it, and you have to be almost like an egomaniac to the point of hurting.
Okay,
you gotta keep talking and talking about it.
So it's not like a thing you can do after you come home from working your 9 to 5, you can just pour in the time to do the marketing and advertising stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, if when you're doing it all by yourself, then I would pour every available minute that you have into it. Keep talking about it and keep going on live streams. And keep promoting and promoting and promoting. But as people that have other jobs, we can't always do that, which is why I mention Red Gaze or Carla, or any of my friends, George, as much when I can, and just remind people that they have projects out there, because we rise together.
Right.
So that every little bit helps, and it's good karma. The one thing about good karma is you don't expect anything in return, right? You do something good for the sake of doing it, and if something comes back to you, then all the better. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'll drink to that.
Yeah. So
Indeed.
I promote people as much as I can, and I hope. I mean, I don't expect it, but I hope that when I have something come up, that they remember me and do the same. But that's not an expected behavior.
Right. No, I see where you're coming from. I apologize if it seems like I'm not paying attention to you. I'm just doing like two things at once.
You have ADHD, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good, man. We get it.
Okay.
Well, look, because we
get it.
Fair enough. Well,
You're
we got
surrounded.
Nancy and Parrot Head in the chat. What's up, guys? How you doing?
Hello.
Oh, I didn't see Nancy. Hi, Nancy. It's good to see you.
Been a little while.
It's a tramp stamp. Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Now, mine's on my shoulder. You want to see it? Oh, man. Who else is it? Nancy, good to see you. Where'd CJ go? I haven't seen CJ in a second. CJ was in the chat.
Yeah, it's pretty late where he's at. He's 4 hours ahead.
Oh, that's right. Well, yeah.
Oh.
I actually just read this book called The Go-Giver that talks a lot about paying it forward and giving yourself, and that in order to receive, you must be a giver. And it's really interesting. It's an interesting concept. It's true.
As much as the concept of service to self versus service to others. Right?
Yep.
Well, I mean, I look at it in a community standpoint. If I am helping to generate attention or energy in a direction of creativity, of abundance, that is helping to generate that wave that will reach out for them, then it'll become a ripple effect. And therefore, when I need to promote something of
What's up,
my
Tommy?
own,
Tommy's internet allowed him to visit us. The best mod on YouTube. Tommy.
The bestest of the bestest.
Unresting, unyielding.
Hey, it's good to see you.
The Guinea Pig Collective.
Yep. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I have a question. Where did that come from anyway? The Guinea Pig Collective.
You have to ask Tommy.
From
Okay.
Tommy.
Okay,
Yes,
so that's a Tommy thing. All right.
Yeah.
Good to know. It's God.
I discovered that Twitter has a lot of guinea pig gifs. More than I ever thought it had.
Oh, well, the thing I learned is that when it comes to cute animals, and the definition for cute is pretty wide. It's like, yeah, there's if it's like any animal doing anything remotely cutesy, it's on black. It's out there.
Man, I used to always feed my oops food or food that was a little old in the fridge to the neighborhood cats. I'd put it on the porch.
Mm-hmm.
And one day, I was really, really tired. I think I'd had a few cocktails. I opened the door and I was like, "Damn, that's a mangy-looking cat." And then it looked up at me and it was a possum.
Oh,
How big was it?
Oh!
How big was
It
it?
was a big sucker. It was big.
oh, yeah.
That's
Now,
an
was
opossum.
this
That's an
was this,
opossum.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
opossum. Yes.
So
They're bigger.
Yeah.
I-
So I was like, it's a possum. And then I went, and it looked up at me. It's like, "Hey, man, you've been putting food out for a year. What are you
It's like,
getting
hey man, you've
weirded
been
out
feeding
for?"
me for a year.
Yeah.
well, what's funny is I have 3 cats, and one of the cats, she really loves to hunt, and she'll bring in lizards quite a bit. And there's one time she brought in a baby possum, and it freaked me out at first because at first I thought it was a giant rat, and I'm terrified
Yeah,
of
they
rats.
look like that. Yep.
Yeah, I know, and it freaked me out. And then when I realized what it was, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna get my girlfriend. She's gonna take care of that. It's like, because those things like to fake death. They like to fake, play, fake being dead, and they'll just come back and bite you and shit. So I was like, I'm not dealing with that crap.
Parrot is asking
Well-
if the opossum played dead. It did not. It was like, "Oh, that's the dude that's been feeding me for the last year."
Hmm.
And that was what it did. It just gave me that look.
Well, Wes, it just so happened that in the house in Miller in Gary, my mom would we had the family of cats that lived in the backyard, and most houses had alleys. Well, our alley didn't really have an alley. It had green growing things in the middle of the alley. They had never ran a rock road, and so it was a great corridor for animals. And so all these cats are being fed, and all of a sudden, there's this old possum, big. And the possum never bugs anybody. It was friendly, didn't hiss, came and ate his food and left. Matter of fact, this possum didn't mess with the cats, but the possum protected the cats. Really weird relationship.
Yeah,
But this is something I observed.
I'm telling you, man, I didn't know exactly what you're saying. I actually liked. At first, I was freaked out, but then I was like, "Hey, I like the possum better than I like the cats. The possum never goes into heat and meows all summer.
Mhm.
He just shows up, gets his food. If you catch him eating it, he looks up, 'Hey, thanks, man,' and takes off."
You don't
Yeah.
find litters of kittens in the lilacs?
Nope. Yeah, you don't. It just possum that crawls under the neighbor's house or wherever, he or she chills out at, and just don't see him. So
Yeah.
it doesn't make a peep.
Hey,
They're
Steven, you
better
were
than
tagged
raccoons.
on
Because like
Twitter.
raccoons will fight your cats and dogs and stuff, and it's like at least the possums won't. They'll just leave them alone.
Raccoons are also rabies carriers, and possums
Yeah.
are not.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, we also we got some pretty big raccoons are over here. We got there's a lake not too far from here. Actually, there's a bunch of little lakes all over the place over here in Lacey. Because I'm on the very edge of Lacey into the Olympia area, and a lot of big raccoons. I mean,
Trash
they're
pandas.
yeah, they're not scared at all. And in Indiana, the raccoons there are really, really fierce. They're so fierce, man. My God. Back in Indiana, people like to grow out in the woods and grow their cannabis out there back in the old days. And I had a buddy of mine one time told me he went to go pick his cannabis, and there was a raccoon on the cannabis plant eating it, and it hissed when he walked up. And basically, you just stand back and wait for the raccoon to be done, because you're not going to get in between whatever that raccoon wants.
Yep. Mean suckers.
I'm gonna look for that now, Nancy.
So let me see
What's
if I
that,
get
Steven?
this straight.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just letting Nancy know. I'm gonna go look for that on Twitter now. Thank you, sweetie.
Sweet. Let me see if I get this straight. So the raccoon was basically getting high off that dude's cannabis.
It was
Mm-hmm.
eating the plant.
Oh, does it get high from eating the plant?
Probably.
Oh, okay.
Well,
It was getting its roughage and some benefits.
Yeah.
I thought
Roughage and
that
THC.
I thought you had to bring the THC out. You had to heat it to a certain temperature, and there has to be like a fat of some kind to leach out the THC, and you can't heat it beyond a certain point. That if you just eat it, it won't. I guess it doesn't release the THC or the CBD or any of that stuff.
Well, that raccoon sure did like that plan. I'm telling you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because they'll fight you for it.
Damn, sounds like the ducks and French fries.
Yeah.
Nancy,
Yeah, the raccoons in northern Indiana, man, they're freaking fierce.
my Twitter is insane with mass tags, Nancy. What's your Twitter handle, sweetheart? So I can just look for it. Oh my god, I try not to mass tag people because I know what it does to a Twitter. And people end up muting you if people mass tag you a lot and stuff. That's why whenever I do like a tag that has like 3 or 4 or 4 more people and it's not related to a show, like I'll always say, guys, I'm sorry, I'll try not to make this a habit. Like I know this isn't cool.
Yeah, I try not to do that either.
Yeah, I'm gonna try not to.
I think I tagged Gary for the first time in like 3 months.
Gary's different. He's there.
Yeah.
He's there to be our YouTube bitch. He is our nerd.
Yeah.
He is to entertain us. That's Gary's job. I love Gary.
I love Gary too. Hey,
Great.
Gary was my inspiration, and basically I adopted his code.
Did you guys see Gary's like 1986 app fix?
No.
He looks,
No.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, he looks like fucking Billy Idol.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was
Wow.
gonna say Nick Nolte, but that's pretty
Yeah.
close.
Yeah, Nick Nolte,
If
yeah.
somehow that was possible. Yeah.
I thought it was great. I think I commented on that. I said, what did I say? A face that caused fear in a generation of fathers.
Dude, and he was like in a photo booth with some girl wrapped around his shoulder, and that could be your daughter.
Dude, that's right. Gary was a pimp. Nerdrotic was a pimp, y'all. His pimp hand is strong. His punk rock pimp hand.
Dude.
He has your daughter in his hand. He's like, "What can I do now? Oh, I'll just go and start a comic book store.
Right.
You know what's funny is because
Slap a table with your nuts, man."
what's funny is like I live outside. I live not too far from San Francisco where Gary lives, and I was at a Sharks game, and I could have swore that there was this guy sitting across from me that it was Gary, and I'm like, is that? I wonder if that's Nerdrotic. I was like, oh, I won't. And like when I find my girlfriend's like, well, you know what? Shut up. Instead of just trying to wonder, just go ask him. And I asked him. He's like, apparently he said no, but apparently the woman he was with was laughing at it because I guess it's happened more than once. The guy's like, I don't know who Nerdrotic is.
Tyler said Gary turned Chuck Norris gay.
I like that. I like that.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I was typing something when I seen that. It's a good thing I wasn't drinking something.
Yeah.
That is gospel.
Dude, Gary is fucking awesome, man.
He
I
is.
just, the very first conversation I ever had with that dude, I'll always remember it.
Yeah.
I told him, I said, Gary, you're my hero. He said, dude, you're my hero. I'm like, get the hell out of here. Don't be like that. Let me fanboy for a minute. No.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, I don't know how you felt about your first time on Friday Night Tights, Steven, but I was nervous the whole time.
I was nervous. I know, and I talked to Gary backstage not too long ago. I forget what live stream it was, but I was just bullshitting with him. I was like, dude, I apologize if I was uptight. He's like, no, you did fine. I said, dude, I felt like I was uptight, because first off, look, Griggs will take the air out of a fucking room. I don't care who you are. Unless you're used to talking with Jeremy Griggs, he sucks the air right out of a live stream because you're just like, he's a very powerful personality, and right.
I gotta say, I thoroughly enjoyed being on a live stream with Jeremy.
Oh yeah,
I gotta say,
I liked it too. I've been on a couple.
it was fun. It was fun. I gotta say,
since the allure, since I just got more used to it. But when I went on the High Council, man, that was a fucking dream come true.
Oh, man.
Yeah, dude, I was I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna put my balls out. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna be me. I'm just gonna be the fire preacher. And just go on there and hell, it's the High Council. All hail the Phantom Menace. You know what I mean?
And Jeff World Class is such a fucking gentleman.
He is.
Oh,
I'd
man,
say
he
of
is
the
awesome.
three, he's like the most likely to be Sean Connery in a Bond movie.
Yeah.
Pick your other Bonds for the other two, but
I've been on Doomcock's stream. That was pretty cool.
Oh, I'm so jealous right now.
Fuck
Really?
you.
That's awesome. That is
Fuck you,
awesome.
Wes.
Tell me about that. When were you on Doomcock?
Wait, I was on there twice, actually. I was on twice. Shoot, I forgot about that.
About 4 weeks ago, then 2 weeks ago.
4 weeks ago and 2 weeks ago, yeah. About 3 and 4 weeks ago. Yeah, it was the weirdest thing. I was, I'm a Legionnaire, right? And
Same here.
so I was talking about. I was like, hey, I pitched the idea of maybe helping, what we're doing, helping each other out. And
Right.
I'm out driving, and I get an invite from him to go on the show, and I'm like, I'm getting home right. I'm dropping whatever I'm doing. I'm getting home now. I was like,
Yeah, fucking right. Yeah,
I was running stop signs.
putting people in mortal danger. Your evil overlord would have been proud.
Oh yeah, it was a great show too. Dude,
Hey,
I
that's
set
a
up the
movie.
studio faster than I ever set up the studio in my life.
I'm gonna smoke on air bear. Is that okay? I just don't give a fuck.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Dude, so what were you talking about? I mean, that's awesome. I've never streamed with Doomcock. I would love to.
We talked Star Trek Picard, kind of like what we were doing when Picard was on the air.
Awesome.
Hey, whenever he has his little his soirees on what do you call it, Discord and Xanadu, I get to talk to him every now and then. I gotta say, it's pretty awesome.
It is,
It is.
It's funny.
I've missed the last couple because I've been busy.
So that was my first attempt with Discord, and I was like, "Hey, nothing's happening." I was in there for 35 minutes, and somebody said, "You gotta click the voice chat button," and then all of a sudden he comes on. I was like, "Oh."
Yeah, and always make sure there's what is it? Speak to talk. Make sure you have that
press it,
disabled.
yeah.
Yeah, press to talk. You want to make sure that's disabled because
Yeah,
there's
because you
all
fart
kinds
at
of
the wrong moment.
glitches. I'm telling you.
Hmm.
But
You
yeah,
call them
I've-
farts, I'll call them glitches. Sometimes
not-
loud ones.
I've not been on Friday Night Tights though. That would be nice to be on there.
Yeah, man, it's an experience. A lot of great people in there. I love to see Comix Division. We're friendly, and I like to see how he's been getting more subs and doing better. And I love seeing him on Friday Night Tights. He has the talent for it. I've got.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, the kind of a little bit of biting sarcasm to him that really works on that panel.
I love it.
Yeah.
You got to have
Right.
sarcasm on that panel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've been on. Yeah, I was on a stream with him a while back. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's a
I
big.
was Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying he's a big supporter of the class that he came up with. Like our class of YouTubers.
Yeah, he really is. I was kind of surprised he actually had his camera on. That was the first time I'd ever seen him. Was on that stream, I think.
Yeah,
So,
so
yeah.
you got to see the flavor
Parrot-
saver.
Parrot Head was saying that we're fanboys, and I figure, well, hey, that's a movie.
We are fanboys, Parrot Head. I'm sorry.
I got the movie, man. We are.
Dude, that movie
Yeah.
was freaking awesome.
Yeah,
It was.
Well, that's all of us in the cockpit, isn't
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, brother. There were, the scene, my favorite scene, because I'm a Star Trek fan, just a little bit more than I'm a Star Wars fan, and my favorite scene was William
Riker was a
Shatner.
pimp.
William Shatner saying, "Shh, "I'm a Star Wars fan, but don't tell anybody."
I love the scene where they have the Star Wars phaser, and it's like, this is how we figure out, we can sniff out Trekkie bitches like yourself. And it's like, I actually knew that because like my mom's a huge Star Trek fan, so it's like I knew both. It's like, oh man, I would have been kicked out for both.
Bear, do you have the upgraded StreamYard?
I need that.
There
shit.
is
Yeah, man. You can do clips and all kinds of cool shit.
upgraded StreamYard.
It looks like you have the upgraded version.
I didn't know there was.
Oh, yeah, you have to pay them money. You can multi-stream and do all kinds of stuff with it.
Yeah, I don't have the paid version.
Yeah, I love the stuff. Drunk 3PO, the clips that he uses. Look, guys, I'll tell you what. Drunk has been a big supporter of mine. We've been friends for a while, and Immortal, and he'll just watch what he's doing. He really does innovate whenever he can, and whatever works, he runs with it. Man, pay attention to what Drunk 3PO does and try and emulate it in your own way.
He's a YouTube genius. I saw him from going to having to be bribed for like $20 to wear a Carol Danvers t-shirt to Captain Marvel, to like he's going to Jeremy's pool house and being like, yeah, Jeremy, where's my fucking pina colada? Where's my bitch?
Right.
Chop, chop, motherfucker.
Chop, chop. Oh, man. Hail to the Phantom Collective. Them cards are off the hook. Thank you very much on behalf, I think, of everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Shit. Did
really
Final Death Star win? Do you know?
No. Miss Star Wars. One. I mean, there's a hot girl on the list.
Well, you know, and that's my biggest goal to making 1,000 subs is like, I don't have tits, man. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, see, that does seem to be a big help. I noticed, you know, I started around the same time as somebody that you probably would recognize the name, and they're good at what they do. She's good at what she does, but I had like 92 videos, and within 3 videos, already monetized. So, you know, yeah, it's like, wow. I mean, well, you know, hey, good for her, but geez, you know.
Well, it's a natural advantage, and I think it's not. And it's like you have to be careful how you word this, because you'll get this some of the girls will band together and come at you, and the simps will definitely come at you. But women have a natural advantage in social medias, on Instagrams, on a Facebook, on a YouTube, on a whatever it is, Twitch, right? They just do, and that's because dudes like to look at pretty women, and other women like to see what other women are doing. They just have a natural advantage. It is what it is, you know. But eventually, it comes to a point where it levels out. That advantage kind of levels out, because then when it gets into the realm of does your content hold weight, and then really are you people watching the content, or are people watching you because you have a nice pair? You know, and also I don't really talk that much shit on the ladies all that much, because they also deal with some fucked up harassment.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, I saw that tweet the other day that got forwarded. Yeah.
You know, so that's a double-edged sword. So
yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, Stephen, with the fact it's always just a trade-off, because it's like, you know, I've met plenty of women who are, you know, are straight and bi and lesbian and stuff. They like looking at pretty women too. You know?
They jump one another.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they admire pretty women too, you know, just like heterosexual men. So it's like, well, of course that's gonna, you know, of course a nice pair of boobs is gonna totally work.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, exactly. I do too. But my point is, there's a give and take, and the take is the fact that they can get some pretty horrible harassment.
Yeah, bro. Yep. Yeah, you know, so it just is what it is. It's just a natural gender role. One of those things that the far left says doesn't exist. It exists.
Yeah, which is you ask any person, and it's like, well, no, duh. There's things that I always find with the whole thing with like the kind of like that the far left thing is that it's that I sometimes I see it. The arguments kind of come off as a bit of using it as a weapon, but I do see some who are they when they try to not focus on that. They try to not. It's like they really do try to consider, you know, to try and make things equal, but then they lose sight of the fact that, you know, the obvious part.
All right, guys, I hate to break in, but I got to get going here. I thank you guys for It's been a great panel, and we'll see you guys later. Thanks for having me on, Bear.
Later, Wes.
All right,
Take care.
Wes, no problem, man. I'll throw your link up in the chat if Tommy didn't beat me to it.
All right,
Take
awesome.
care, Wes.
Thanks,
All right, bro.
guys.
Take
See you
care.
later, buddy.
Have a
Sir.
good one.
Hail Wes.
Hail, Wes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I'm glad we found him. I've enjoyed Wes every time I drop into one of his live streams, you know, or watch one of his videos. That's what to do.
So yeah, I heard about I heard articles and videos about this, and I've been. So it is a thing that's like definitely confirmed.
From what I understand, yes.
I actually saw an article today that suggested Jango Fett, the actor, the clone, would be Boba Fett.
Yes.
I could
that
get
was
behind
just
that.
like-
I could get behind that.
So I'll see if I can find it, and I'll throw it in the fucking link. In the chat.
Yeah, I was just reading that article before, and then I was looking him up because I was just rewatched Spartacus, the Star series Spartacus.
Mm-hmm.
If you love blood, action, strong men, strong women, and lots of hits, watch Spartacus from start. And he's in it. He's in the second season, which was a prequel. It's a shame. I love that show. The first season,
Man, I kind of stopped watching that show. Spartacus, right?
Right, Spartacus. The first season, the actor who played Spartacus was a survivor of cancer, played this role, and then got it back. He came out of remission, and so he had to go in for treatments. So while he was going in for treatments, because the show was really good, it's just
man,
Lucy Lawless, stark nude having sex, y'all, come on. So he had to go back for treatments. So they did a prequel, and the prequel is 6 episodes long. And really, you should watch the prequel before you watch the first season, even though it's not in that order. It's really good, and it's got the guy that played Jango Fett, in that series. He's a badass. He trains gladiators. He doesn't take shit. He's a badass. So when I saw that article, I thought of him, and I thought of him in that role because I just watched him there. And that dude can play some tough characters. He was
He was Aquaman's dad in the Aquaman movie, and he's like fucking badass. It's all get out.
Yeah.
He's, apparently, I only know this because my in-laws, but like apparently he's a New Zealander. He's a Kiwi, and so it's like apparently like apparently a big joke with them is like all the badass actors like Carl Urban and stuff. They're all from New Zealand.
Nice.
But yeah, maybe not as funny as I thought. Sorry.
I like Carl Urban.
No, it's all right. It's all right. It was like the awkward. No. It was like the awkward silence where it was like, oh, okay.
I see Wookiee supremacy in the chat, and I want to say, hell, Wookiee supremacy.
Wookiee supremacy.
I'm wondering in what new creative way Disney is planning on shitting on the OT with the new season of Mando.
Yeah.
I understand your frustration. Now, this is the way I'm looking at it. New season of Mando, they're going to be bringing back my man from Clone Wars. We got Rosario Dawson coming in as Ahsoka. All right, now whatever anyone's issue is with the new Disney expanded universe, I totally get it. It's all shit, really. So we're shifting through for the fresh shit from the bad shit, the old shit, the fresh shit is going to, hey, what's up, Immortal, you sexy bitch? The fresh shit is going to have a Boba Fett in it. It's going to have Ahsoka with Rosario Dawson. I like Rosario Dawson. It is what it is. Meanwhile,
Rosario Dawson, didn't she play in? She played in the old TV sitcom that had what's his name? Old guy, old gray hair comedian. He used a puppet to draw his comics. He was the character in. He used a cow puppet to draw his comics, and she was in it. I'm pretty sure.
I'm not sure, but I know
that years ago.
Well, I know that she was in Galexander. I know the movie's called Alexander, but Alexander was straight gay in that series.
Oh,
so
yeah.
She was big titty nigga as fuck. Anyway, boobs matter. Boobs matter. So,
but anyway,
Hashtag
boobs.
what I was trying to say is that, all right, so if there is this Favreau Kennedy, kind of faction fighting going on, then Mandalorian is something that if you want Kennedy gone, you should, if you can, support. Because this Leslie Headland, female-centric, I hate penis Kathleen Kennedy series that's going to be, when it's going to be coming out, is going to be absolute propaganda garbage. It's going to be trash. It's going to be everything that all of her creative team that has slowly been falling apart, their ideology full on, hammer down.
Aren't they tired of losing?
No, they haven't lost.
Apparently not.
In their mind, they have not lost. These are delusional people. If they are able to put this stuff on screen, if they are able to destroy someone's hopes and dreams, someone's ability to enjoy a franchise, then they have done their job. To them, that is winning. It isn't about money. It's not about money.
It's not about money.
About sending a message.
Yeah.
So I look at it like, yeah, Wookiee, I get it, bro. I've enjoyed Rogue One, and I've enjoyed The Mandalorian, for what it is. But would I rather have Jedi Master Luke Skywalker, the hero of the galaxy, all of the wonderful characters? Even if you're not a big fan of Luke isn't even my favorite fan in that universe, but he's so integral to so many other characters that I have enjoyed, that have just been put to the wayside and just leveled under the weight of Kathleen Kennedy's sexism and racism.
Boot. Das Boot.
Just give us tits. Not in the Star Wars, but
hey, Steven, can you read that banner?
It says, we don't judge, we get ideas. Big difference. Excuse me. Why do you think we get more sexual and other sisters or bitches? Did I read that wrong? I probably
Yeah.
like
It's duh plus from other sisters or bitches M.
Thank you, Willie. I'm fucking retarded tonight.
No, it's all right. It's all right. It's late.
It is late.
Yeah, I kind of threw you to that one a little.
No, okay, I want to go. Okay, we don't judge; we get ideas. Big difference. We don't judge; we get ideas. Big difference. Why do you think we get more sexual? I mean, I like sexual, but it doesn't have to go into everything. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't look at some of the classics of the past. Like I don't watch Enemy Mine and I get upset because there's no tits in it. I love
you want to get plenty of boob action, not just side boob. I mean, boob action. Outlander.
Boob. Really, an Outlander?
Yes, Outlander. Yes.
Also, too, there's this show called Britannia.
Boom.
Lots
of about that. Yeah, I'm gonna check. Yeah, and for those of you out there who might be on the teeter about Spartacus, for any of you gay men out there or any of you ladies, there's lots of dong. All right, there's lots of dong in that series too.
It's like, don't worry, guys, there's penis. It's okay.
Like full on big muscular dudes fighting other big muscular dudes, dong on dong action, wrestling and strangling each other. So just letting y'all know, it's all over the board. It's there.
Nancy, I think Spartacus, if I'm not mistaken, Spartacus is on Netflix. So if you have Netflix, you can.
Netflix now?
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. Because I only saw like 1 or 2 episodes of Spartacus, and it
wasn't it. What was it on Showtime or was it on
Showtime?
Showtime. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because back when I had Showtime, I was using the app. And I got rid of all that because he's like, nah, I just got tired of that. I had it as an add-on with Hulu. I would use the app that was able to connect to it and all that. But
you could not make that show in today's climate, right? And this is right before the SJW era. Right before the SJW era this show came out, right?
You haven't checked out Outlander? Man, you've got to check that out, man. It's right up your alley.
Go ahead, Willie.
Oh, no, I was going to say, I respectfully disagree with you. Because here's why. Because remember Game of Thrones, when they took for like 1 season, they took like, all right, we're not going to have any of the sex scenes or anything like that, and the show's ratings were really terrible. Were terrible. So they brought back. So they were like, all right, we need to bring back need to bring back boobs and stuff. It's like,
Well, it's just not the boobs. It's the sex
writing.
appeal. It's the chemistry.
Also
Yeah.
the quality of the writing.
It-
the characters themselves change.
it's the sexy time as well. It's the sexy time as well. Because yes, it is a very well. It's like, first and foremost, yes, it's very well told story. It's very tight.
Up until
And
the season.
I mean, on the whole, it's pretty tight. It's a pretty tight knit story. But
Hey.
it's like, I'm not gonna lie, for some, like, I'm a normie in like this in this way too. It's like, I watched the sex scenes. I didn't want to sit. It's like the fantasy stuff was boring. I was like, I didn't really care that much, but it was the.
Let me pitch real quick. Oh, let's say hi to Shellback. But then
Hey, Shellback.
Hey, Shellback.
Shellback.
Get your homework done, brother.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah, boy.
I had a feeling you're gonna say that.
Yeah. I wanted to say something to Nancy. She said she never heard of Spartacus, and I wanted to preach to Nancy just for a moment. Anybody else who may not have seen this series or understand the story, the reason that I say that it could not be made in this day and age in the current SJW climate is because at the heart of this show, it is an issue about slavery. It is about many different cultures from many different parts of the world, not just Africa, but all over Europe. Not so much Asia, not so much the Asian continent, but all over the known world around the Roman Empire. All these different cultures of people that were taken as slaves and brought together and used and abused and treated like garbage, the way they were manipulated, the way their lives were destroyed. And it's about these men who are stolen from their homelands, taught to fight to fight to the point of murdering one another for our amusement as gladiators. And these slaves, these house slaves, these warrior slaves rose up together. They didn't say blame the white man or blame this man or blame they rose up together against their oppressors and started a campaign of rebellion, which lasted for 3 fucking years. This group of slaves traveled across Italy, freeing other slaves as they went, town after town, eventually making it up to the north of Italy, where some of them escaped over the Alps. But a large majority of them said, nah, fuck this shit, we're going back, and turned around to go free more slaves. They defeated entire Roman armies. Seasoned generals from all over the empire took them down one after the other. I think it was 4 different Roman generals were taken down before they were finally put down when they tried to escape from the bottom of the boot of Italy to Africa. They paid pirates because at this time, the Mediterranean was not the Roman lake. Rome didn't have a very powerful navy, so it was run by many pirates. So they paid these pirates with all this loot that they had taken from slave masters while they were freeing slaves and causing havoc across Italy, to help them get to help them escape to Africa. Rome found out, paid those pirates even more, and they sandwiched these people up against the coast and murdered hundreds of thousands of freed slaves, but they died as free men and women. And the reason that this story is so powerful is because this is a multicultural slave rebellion against actual oppression. Not something we deal with now. Not, oh, this person didn't service me at a cake store, they're racist. None of that bullshit. This was genuine people's lives being ruined by slavery from all over the known world at that time. It's a very poignant and powerful, wonderful story. And Stars did a great job with it. And there's lots of tits and dongs if you're into that thing. That's my pitch.
I was going to say that's the one thing where that show would get a pass for the
dongs or the tits?
for the well, for the same sex activities that were on that show.
Look, Agron and his boyfriend. Oh God, what's his name? I can't think of his name. I'll be honest. That is
the little Syrian guy.
The Syrian dude. Look, They were tough as shit. That's another thing, though. The gay dudes in that story were not bitches. The gay
No, hell no.
Huh? Would they take lessons from Mercedes Lackey on how to write characters?
It's just great. It was just wonderfully written characters.
In fact, that little Syrian guy, who was basically, he was basically for lack of a better term, he was the woman in that relationship, right?
Yeah, he was
the bottom,
Yeah, he was the submissive.
But the thing is, though, he turned out to be one of the best fighters. Like I said, the other characters would look at him, and they'd smirk or laugh or whatever, and then he would commence to freaking whooping their ass,
or attempting to, and would get respect for that. Yeah, it's just such a great show, and there are moments that may make you cringe. Like I don't like the bed scenes with Agron and his little Syrian girl, dude. I'm like but because the characters are so well written, when you have scenes that where they're expressing their affection for one another, it's not cringy. At least to me, it's not cringy. It's like I understand the passion between these two people because of what they've been through and what they've survived and what they're fighting for. So, it is what it is.
Hey, if you like Spartacus, you would definitely like Outlander because there's battle. Yeah, oh man, my God, it's great, and there's time travel.
You don't need to see
time travel through stones.
Yeah,
the stone circles. Yeah, they through one of those. And there's a theory about those stone circles that they were used for stuff like that.
Well,
used for navigating.
I heard they were built on ley lines.
Yeah,
the dragon lines.
Yeah, and and I do believe in this story there's an actual circle of stones actually there. I don't think it's a prop. It's actually there.
Well, I think the current theory at this point is that they were used for resonance. They were used for. They say music, but anyone who studies ancient philosophy, ancient mysticism, understands that resonance waves has a lot to do with those beliefs. And I think that the stone circles were meant to reflect and create a wave pattern that would influence the surrounding culture during celebrations, like the solstice.
And those ley lines, yes, people did get laid along those lines.
Oh yeah, I wish I did.
Shellback.
Good to know.
Hey, when me and Steven are a little too serious, Shellback brings us back. Yeah, it's man, there's a lot of beheadings in Outlander, man. A lot of swordplay.
What's the era? I love
middle 1700s.
Oh yeah, I'm down.
The Jacobite Wars.
I'm down.
Yeah. It's a great show.
That British guy has some issues.
Oh, you talking about the Randall guy? Randall, the English guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got some issues. That whole family line's got issues. In that family line, this character Randall, he's descended. The guy that she's married to in the future, well, she goes back in time through these stones by accident, and she seems to think that her stones that were in her watch actually activated it when she touched the stones with both her hands, because she had her watch around her wrist, and because they had some gemstones, and she figured out that it requires gemstones. And it's just a really fascinating storyline. And this Randall character, in the English army, he was an officer, and he was one of those thuggish kind of officers that was stationed in the Highlands of Scotland, in this area where they're at.
Black Jack.
Yeah, his nickname was Black Jack Randall.
Black Jack Randall.
Yeah. And I do believe I'm pretty sure it's based off of a character that really existed.
Mm.
I'd have to look into that, but I think it might be. If it's not, it's good story writing. And there was a lot of things in history that happened just like that.
Yeah.
And there was names that were kind of similar.
Kermit the Log turned me on to this show called Peaky Blinders. Have you all seen that yet?
Peaky Blinders.
No.
Why does that sound familiar?
It's on Netflix. Early 20th century gangster Britain.
I'm gonna have to look into that.
There's even a couple boobs thrown in here and there, which I appreciate myself being a boob connoisseur.
Outlander. There is some beautiful women back in the past. I'm telling you.
Well, I love the dress. I love the
and the main lead female that goes back in time. She's pretty beautiful.
Oh, okay.
Has anybody here seen American
Blinder. I'm not trying to
Gods?
look down.
I need to see American Gods. I've heard so many good things about it.
Yeah, I kind of waited for the season to be over with so I can do a full watch.
Stephen Walton, have you've seen that Star Trek episode, Who Mourns for Adonis, where the gods are sustained on the worship of those who worship them? No?
Oh yeah, like the god of there's social media god and so forth.
Yeah, so Easter, Ostera from like the old lands.
Yeah,
like she is a fucking vital thing, and bunnies and fucking eggs and everything. But in order for her to sustain herself, she has a mansion where every version of Jesus that exists, and I'm talking Korean Jesus, Spanish Jesus, Italian Jesus, Catholic Jesus,
Korean Jesus,
Baptist Jesus, all these Jisai,
personal Jesus,
congregate on Easter's fucking vineyard, and it's something, man. Mr. Wednesday, let's call him that, sustains the show. There's someone he's hired as his bodyguard, and his wife turns out to be a zombie. What else can he ask for TV gold?
Yeah, I dig the show. I'm gonna have to go back and
you
rewatch.
Like it, Bear?
Oh yeah. I was waiting for this latest season to get all the episodes so that way I can do a binge watch.
Cool.
Because I'm going to go back and I'm going to rewatch because there's a lot going on. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on above, below, and all around. Man, there's a lot going on. And it's a good show. It's a good show.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm definitely going to check both those shows out.
Yeah. What platforms is that show on? Isn't that
American Gods is on Netflix, I think. Oh, Peaky Blinders is on Netflix too.
Peaky Blinders.
It's on Netflix. I could just. It's
the cat that played.
Isn't it HBO? Isn't it HBO that American Gods is on?
The chat knows.
The chat knows.
Educate us.
Because I'm watching so many shows that are on so many different platforms.
Nancy, I love you, honey. He said, "Well, hey, now women are not always on the bottom." Hell, sister. Hell.
Well, I said for lack of a better term.
Oh my God, chat is on fire.
I mean, trust me, I don't mind when they're on top either. You know.
Yeah, she's got a point. Outlander is what's up. It's a good show, I got to say. I've actually gone back and I'm starting to do a rewatch on that one because basically you got to pay attention to everything that's happening because there's a few things that happen in the beginning season, and then when you go to the next season, it's like, okay, that makes sense now. And because it's time travel, you're talking about time travel, and there's just so many different things that are going on with it. It's a good story. And there, to me, what I call a good sex scene in a TV show is about 15 seconds.
15 seconds, man.
About 15 seconds. Yeah, I'm a prude, man.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good.
I'm all about the story. You know, as long 15 seconds of good boob shot and a very good scene can do a lot. And then it should immediately just be back into the story. Because I'm all about the story itself.
Dig it. Oh, dig it. Yeah, dig it. I'm
But
all about that.
but I do like me some 15-second of good boob shot. You know, a good steamy scene. You know, and there's some steamy scenes in Outlander that are really done well.
Okay.
Let me put it to you this way: the actor and actress, I think they get to know each other pretty good.
You ever hear the story about Jason Momoa and what's her name that played Khaleesi? Got it. I can't think of her name right now. Yeah, but the sex scene that they had, and he was wearing a sock. He's like had a Muppet on his junk or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And they had the hardest time doing that scene because they kept laughing. Because
I'd imagine
he's just like slapping this sock against
What,
her.
are you talking about him and Amelia Clark on Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
When he was playing, was it Drogo?
Count Drogo. Or Khal Drogo. Khal Drogo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget where I read it, but they were talking about that scene. Like it was hard for them to do it because they were just laughing. They were friends at that point. And mimicking sex, and here he is wearing a freaking Muppet on his dong.
Yeah,
it's great. I love hearing shit like that.
Oh, jeez.
Let's talk about some good movies that don't have any dongs or boobs. You know what I? Back to the Future.
What's up, Michael? What's up, Mikhail?
Back to the Future. Hell, yeah, Back to the such.
Leah Thompson.
Oh man,
I had it like when I was like younger than 5. It was like seeing Leah Thompson in Back to the Future, and then seeing her in Howard the Duck. I was like, oh.
You had to bring up the duck boobs, Willie.
Oh, dude, I didn't bring up any duck boobs. You brought up duck boobs. I just brought up Howard the Duck and how Leah Thompson is hot.
I'll do you one better.
Go ahead,
I'll do you one better. Jamie Gertz in The Lost Boys.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, save my soul.
Freaking star. Oh, man.
God, yep. And you saw her boobs in Wyatt Earp, yeah.
Truth.
My favorite of all time is Unicorn Storm.
Yeah.
All right. I take it there are no boobs in that one.
Oh. It's,
I don't think boobs would save it.
No, it wouldn't.
It's Mom's favorite statue. That's
Mecca has the best clips of Brie.
Oh yeah, she does. It's like after seeing those clips that Mecca pulled out, it's like I have no interest in seeing this movie ever. I don't care. Like I will never. There will be no circumstances where I will want to watch the show.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, I am sorry. I do need to go. Thank you very much for having me on your stream, and it was great talking to you all.
We'll have to do it again.
Will do. So, all right, you guys have a good night.
You too. You too.
Bye. Bye, chat too.
Take care, man. Plug your channel.
Oh, yes. I can be found on Willie the Monkey King, where there's just pretty much live streams, but good stuff coming.
Awesome. Do me a favor and throw your channel link in our community chat, and I will throw it in the main chat here.
Yes.
The community chat on Twitter.
Oh, yes.
Throw your channel link in there, and then I'll throw it in the chat here, so those that haven't found you yet can find you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.
Nancy brought up Depeche Mode. I love Depeche Mode.
So do I, actually.
Yeah, that was my band.
Well, that's why when Coyle was going through all the Jesuses, I said personal Jesus.
the G-Bite. That was your personal Jesus. So In that show,
Thank you, Tommy.
your worship energy would generate a personal Jesus.
Man, that is so crazy. I one of the tenets, I don't think I stole it from anyone. I just thought of it. Was the
Thanks,
idea
Tommy.
in my books about when you have people that generate intention or worship a deity, it gives that deity power, and that's pretty much how I run the godlike creatures in my science fiction, the godlike beings.
So they take that to that logical conclusion, Walton,
Right.
is if you watch that show, the gods or goddesses who receive the utmost attention survive and thrive. The ones that don't wither and die. And they have ancient things like Europa, carried the fucking essence across the sea once, dies. Nobody fucking knows about them. But other things like technology, that's a new one.
Right.
Media, that's a new one. And they're fighting people like Odin, the All-Father.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is a good story.
I gotta check it out. I had one of the
do it.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do it. One of the, I don't want to give away too much. It's an upcoming book I'm probably going to release next year. Is this basically one of the newer deity, one of the darker deities. What is he? My personal Jesus Ghost Bear. one of the deities who are trying to maintain power attempts to resurrect an old deity by sending fresh souls to the underworld, because it's like Hades, who no one really worships Hades anymore, right? But
right.
Hades is dead but dreaming, asleep, is in a comatose state, and so by generating just a few souls into believing in not only believing the existence of being sacrificed to him, brings him back, and then this cult of Hades is resurrected in the modern day world just from that action. So that show sounds very similar to some of the ideas that I'm writing right now. I'm going to check that out. That sounds really cool.
Speaking of Hades, I don't know that this may be a guilty pleasure for some people, but you just made me think of Kevin Sorbo's Hercules, and then Xena.
Those are fun shows.
Dude, I would fuck both Xena and
Gabrielle.
Yes, both of them. But they were lesbians, so they would kick my ass.
I don't think they were lesbians. I mean,
if they wrote it today, they would be.
They might have had some tendencies, but
Dude, but I'd show up and I'd be like, and I would use like olden language, and they'd be like, fuck you. They'd take my gold, they'd take all my rubies and my food.
Well, Xena from Hercules,
I had to respawn in the end.
The warrior princess that was introduced in Hercules would definitely have taken your shit.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh yeah. We love you too, Nancy. That's awesome.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in our favorite mode.
But Xena went on to Spartacus.
Lucy Lawless.
Yep.
Look, oh my God. I'm done. I don't want to talk about Spartacus no more. All right. All I'm saying is Lucy Lawless in her full glory, acting with the acting chops of somebody that is Lucy Lawless is great all the way around, man.
And she was also in BSG.
Yes, she was, bro, and I can't wait for those seasons to come. For us to review those.
Now, all right, now because I've heard about Battlestar Galactica coming back. Are they trying to redo the same show? I mean, like are we going to see Katie and
Katie Sackhoff.
No.
and
Oh
Edward.
yeah.
No.
Is it going to be the same people, or is it going to be all new people again?
No, Drew's been on top of this story. He's waiting for something to come out. He's Drew Taylor, Bounding into Comics. Go check him out. He Supreme Heretic YouTube channel. He's been staying on this, and as far as we know at this time, it's either going to be a story paralleled another Battlestar, or it's going to be a story about the first Cylon War. So it won't be connected to the Battlestar Galactica from Sci-Fi from 2000s.
Didn't they cover the first war in what was it? Caprica?
You know what? I tried to watch Caprica. I really didn't like it. I so I can't really speak on it. That's all the information I know. I think
it had a slow takeoff. If they would have just basically stopped screwing around and would have just actually wrote a good story and stuck to writing a good story, and basically fast track a lot of the other stuff that's really important, and then all that other stuff could have been explained later. And I think that was their problem.
Yeah, I mean,
their writing.
It was the same thing with what was that show after Babylon 5 finally? It's like Babylon 5 finally caught traction when it was over, which was a shame.
Mm-hmm.
And then they came out with the other story about the ship that was looking.
There was a mini series or something like that.
Right, it was a mini series. It was.
I liked that.
Right, but it wasn't. I liked it, but it wasn't really that good.
It was about they were like fighter monks or something like that on the ship.
Well, it was a techno mage that was on the ship, and I forget what the ship was called. It wasn't Excalibur. It was something like that. But they were searching for a cure to a virus that had been unleashed by the people, the shadows, the people who worship the shadows, against Earth and the Allies for defeating, their gods, the shadows.
Yeah, I remember that show. That's a great show.
Yeah, it was okay.
I think I used to have it a long time ago.
I wanted to like it because I really liked Babylon 5.
No.
I think I mostly like the concept of it.
I dig it. Cool.
A standalone thing like that, it was okay, but it was loosely affiliated with Babylon 5. It's the same universe basically.
Mm-hmm.
It was like an offshoot. I don't know if they were trying to do a complete series or just do a mini series. Merlin was good. I liked Merlin.
I didn't know,
but I lost interest in it though.
Well, shit. For a sec, I thought you were talking about Farscape.
Farscape was.
Oh, Farscape was. I love Farscape.
That blue chick,
dude. Which chick? I loved all those chicks.
I loved all of them too.
Yeah, they were all great.
Yeah,
all the acting and all the chemistry, all of that was just great.
Yeah.
One of my favorite sci-fi shows of the recent last several years, Defiance.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of that. It had its moments. It was decent.
The aliens came and they terraformed Earth, and so all these alien animals are running around now, and the whole Earth looks different, and Defiance is the name of the town. But
it's
the
in
thing
St. Louis.
Yeah, it was on top of St. Louis after the terraforming took place, but yet of course the arch is so damn tall that it was still sticking out of the ground. But and that was like their radio station. But it's like has a Wild West vibe to it.
It did.
Yeah.
Ronnie, guys, I gotta get out of here. I love everybody on this panel. Shellback, Bear, Walton. Yeah. You guys are all dear to my heart. And Tommy, if you're listening, do what's right. I'll talk to you guys.
Hail.
Hail.
Well,
all right, man. Oh.
Hey, we
that'd be
should do this tomorrow evening.
Yeah, dig it.
Around the same time, 9, 8, maybe a little bit earlier, 8 o'clock.
Yeah, dig it. Yeah,
Yeah.
set it up.
Yeah. All right. So it sounds like we should kick the can down the road, eh?
Yeah, let's give somebody else some views. You know, we're hogging up all YouTube over here.
Well, hey, it's been fun. It's been fun and overdue. Well, hey, thank you, chat. Thank you for coming, and we really appreciate you because without you, it wouldn't be no fun. And thanks to Tommy for throwing those links up. We appreciate you. And you guys plug your channels, and we'll rock her on out.
I am author Stephen Walton. I do a lot of live streams, not so much content anymore, but that's because I'm shipping out books lately. I'm sorry. I haven't been doing my job. Thank you to everyone for coming. Like Bear said, you know, without you, we wouldn't be any fun. We appreciate each and every one of you. Hail, brothers and sisters. Wash your hands, wash your ass. Be good to one another. Peace.
Hail. Shellback.
Oh, well, I mean, if you so desire, I am on YouTube and Twitter under Shellback TJC. I haven't made any content for probably like the last month.
Shell's going to school.
Yeah,
He's being
I'm sporadic, but who knows? Maybe one of these days I'll be more consistent or whatever. But you know, the real world has kind of been taking up time. So
Yeah, that what do you call it? That time stop thing that they've all done with the economy and all that. And let's hope that just goes away and all that stuff just goes away. Get back to normal so we can start having fun again and
yeah. I need
have
to get
fun.
back to work. I'm running out of bookmarks on Pornhub. All right, can we get back to work, please?
yeah.
All right. Well, we thank you for coming out and having some shits and giggles. And we'll have more shits and giggles tomorrow night because I do believe the Four Horsemen will ride. Hail to the Phantom Menace, and we will see you later.
Peace.
Good night.
We do not.